Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this series on KUMA videos, or Kaspersky Unified Monitoring and Analysis. This is going to be our 14th section, and in this particular video, we are going to focus in on the metrics section, or Grafana. So, in this case, KUMA Core has two services that collect and visualize important operating parameters of pretty much other KUMA components. The data itself is collected by the KUMA Victoria Metrics service and is visualized by the KUMA Grafana service. The results are available in the metrics section itself. The section has several dashboards with widgets that's showing information about services and the parameters of servers where KUMA itself is actually installed. All widget parameters are detailed in the documentation if you needed to go and have a look at the specifics. Here, we'll only be looking at a few specific widgets as part of this particular video. First, let's check out the collector dashboard, and it has widgets with information about the flow of events and the normalization, the filtering and aggregation of events. The process section contains information about the microservice parameters, and the OS or operating system section shows server operating parameters. If you want to see the parameters of a specific service, you can select it from the list, or you can type a part of its name. So, how else can widgets be useful besides for statistics? For example, you set up an event flow, but unfortunately the rules are not being triggered. So what we need to do then is we need to check that events that are intended for the correlator are not accumulating in the disk buffer itself. Here is where the input-output section and output errors and output disk buffer size widgets will really be very helpful. In the enrichment section, in the queue and errors widget, you can check if all events are successfully enriched. For example, you can go have a look at the streaming enrichment in Cybertrace. Or you need to find out how much RAM each collector is using. Let's go to the process section and check the memory widget. The load widgets in the operating system section show if there are problems with the load average parameter of the server itself. You'll also see the recycling of the processor, the RAM, root partition, and opt partition. The correlator dashboards section are similar to that of the collector dashboard, but there's also a specific section that can be used and that is dedicated specifically to correlation. Here you can find how many buckets were created in a particular correlation rule. The horizontal rate limiter hints at the line that shows when the correlation rule hits the limit on the number of operations per second. You can also see how often the rules access active sheets and context tables, and most importantly, how many records they contain. Additionally, you can also have a look and see how much disk space they right ahead of the log actually take up. On the storage dashboard, pay attention to the number of requests per second and absence of any unsuccessful requests, especially requests to insert data. In this case, large values such as thousands on the distribution queue widget show you that something is most definitely wrong with the actual data distribution across ClickHouse shards. Also, make sure that there are no replicas in the read-only state. On core dashboards, pay attention to make sure that there isn't a long queue of alerts. I most definitely recommend reading about the full list of widgets in the actual documentation. This will definitely help you to isolate the problem if you feel like there is something wrong with your installation. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion of our 14th entry in the series for Kaspersky Unified Monitoring and Analysis Platform. And in this one, we obviously had a look at the reports, the metrics, the details, and most importantly, the widgets that can be useful to us as the administrators. Thank you as always, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.